Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Unlocking You 2.0. And it's by golly, it's been forever since we've done this. So
Yes.
this is we're back at it again. We're coming at you with some new information with a little bit more focus on where we want to kind of go. And I'm here to just introduce to you and me to Ballwinder, or introduce you to Ballwinder and I, and kind of reintroduce because it has been a while, right? So.
Absolutely.
I'm Spencer Bonin. I'm a emotion code and body code practitioner, kind of doing my own thing with the Inside Out Institute. And then I have my partner here, Balwinder Marwaha, who's a transformational leadership coach with me in the Inside Out Institute as well. So, we actually go back way, like, so long. Like, I've actually known Balwinder since, when was it? When did I see you for Orthotics? When I was like 9 or something like
Yeah.
that?
About 2000, 2001, maybe 2001.
Yeah, so I was about 10 or 11 years old. So we go
Yeah.
way back, and it's so interesting how we always leave and come back to each other's lives for this kind of stuff, and we've always kind of been around for each other in that whole regard. So it's super exciting to be able to work alongside you and talk to everyone out there about the exciting things that are going on with us, and maybe talk
Absolutely.
about a little bit what's going on since haven't done our videos for a while. So Bally, if you just want to kind of let us know what's going on, what's the plan here?
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you for that awesome introduction, Spencer. And, we have known each other for a very long time. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs in life together. And, the last year has been a lot of up and up and up. And it's just been very, very exciting. We've not only transformed our own lives, but we've helped so many of our clients have transformation, success, and really make changes in their life,
Totally.
and take control of their life. So, one of the things that Spencer and I've really worked on over the past, few months really is, where is it that we can help people the most? Where does our experience come in the absolute most? How can we transform people's lives the most in a very, certain area? And what we realized is, growing up, Spencer and I, we both faced a lot of rejection. And so what we've decided is that our main focus and the way we're going to help people the most is help people that have dealt with rejection growing up. You're maybe still growing up, maybe you're an adult, maybe you're even retired, but this rejection that you faced all your life is holding you back from your mission, from your true purpose, from yourself, your confidence, whatever it may be. And so that's where we're really helping people with, we know whether that's rejection in relationships, from parents, from siblings, from school, bullying, racism, whatever it may be. Wherever you felt that you faced rejection, unfortunately, it takes a toll on us, and we think I'm healed from it. That was years ago, but I really learned the hard way myself, where for so many years, in fact, I was 38 years old when I realized I always had thought of myself not as good as everyone else.
Hmm.
And obviously I didn't think that from the day I was born, but it got put into me, and I believed that without even realizing it, and led a life that way, without even realizing it, until I healed myself, just over a year ago. So, these things really shape us. They shape who we are and who we can become once we're healed and overcome that. So, Spencer, I guess let's start off with, one of the many ways we face rejection is by people's word. What happened is, people will say things about us, and sometimes we'll hear them multiple times, but what we do is we believe them to be true.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, our mind doesn't know any better, because it's never been trained on how to deal with that. There's no course or class or institute or program that says, hey, when somebody says this about you, this is what you should do, and this is how you make sure it doesn't affect you. It doesn't work that way. People say, hey, you're not a nice person, or hey, you're ugly, or hey, you look funny, or whatever it might be. When you hear that over again and over again, you start to believe it to be true. Consciously, there's things that we can do to help work around that. We can, journal about it. We can talk about it. We can, pinpoint. But then subconsciously, Spencer, what happens when people use their words? and we hear them over and over again, and then we repeat them to ourselves over and over again. What does that do to us?
Yeah, it's honestly like it's such a massive part of our life, and we don't even realize it. Like we're
Mhm.
so operating under this kind of subconscious uh, area where we
Yeah.
have actually like no idea as to sorry, something's coming up here. We have no idea how much of our lives are actually controlled by these subconscious things that are kind of going on. So in the emotion code and body code, we talk about a lot of different things. For example, if you were rejected, like I know myself, I've been rejected in many of the different ways that you even just described. And some of the biggest things that come up are just regular old plain Jane, something called a trapped emotion, where it's like this
Mhm.
little ball of energy. It kind of gets stuck somewhere in your body. And it's like it kind of something triggers it, and then it kind of starts vibrating in that frequency. So you just feel drawn and more pulled to kind of start resonating in that frequency. So you might be a little bit easier to feel rejected or get that kind of stuff that's going on. So when it comes to this subconscious stuff, there's a lot of this subconscious baggage that kind of gets
Mhm.
programmed in through that word. And you're talking about the word, right? And right now we're reading a book called The Four Agreements, and it talks about this particular part, but it talks about how our word or our voice almost has like a magical quality to it,
Mhm.
where you can either use it for white magic or black magic, as they say in the book. And the example that they use in the book is there's a mother who is extremely, like, normally she's an amazing mother, everything's fine and hunky dory, but she has this really stressful day at work, and she comes home, her daughter's singing, super joyful, she's loving life, she's
Yeah.
just super joyful, and then the mother snaps and she says, "Hey, your voice is ugly, stop singing." And now, as a result, the child, because of this kind of shocking emotional event,
Mhm.
now doesn't sing anymore. She has a hard time fitting in because
Yeah.
she can't, she feels like she can't be heard, and she feels like her voice is ugly and gross, and people don't want to hear from her. So
Mhm.
that's just one small example of how this actually works in the subconscious world. And our word has so much influence over other people that you have no idea. And then when that stuff is subconsciously running in the background, you don't even know it's there. And it's
Mhm.
running your life like you wouldn't believe. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what's going on in the background. What about on the conscious side there, Val?
Yeah. Well, so again, on the conscious side, um, there's a couple of things. One is, we've always been uh, taught, good behavior, and we get rewarded for good behavior. But what's unique about us as humans is that we don't really forget anything, even though we want to forget certain things. We don't forget. Like, we all love to forget COVID, right? But the reality is that we can't forget things, and what happens is we let those things replay in our mind. So for example, the what you just told us about, the what's written in the book, is the mom says to the daughter that your voice is ugly, stop singing. Well, that child will repeat that statement over and over and over to themselves, over and over again, for years, for decades even. And what happens is our mind starts to believe it more and more and more, and we just keep replaying it until we remove that trauma completely. And this is where Spencer and I really specialize, is we find the traumas that are holding you back, whatever they may be. Growing up, you might have an idea, maybe you faced an issue with weight, or maybe you had something to do with your skin, maybe you had acne, or maybe you were like me and just looked different, you wore a turban, and people made fun of you for that. What we do is we're able to pinpoint and figure out the exact cause of that trauma, dig in, dive in, figure out what it is, and then release that from you. In fact, someone that I worked, Spencer and I both worked very closely with, they had a big challenge from childhood trauma. Because of their childhood trauma, it was very difficult for them to stick to a schedule.
Mm.
Imagine you want to be a successful person, own your own life, be in control, yet you can't stick to a schedule because of childhood trauma. Well, we were able to help this person pinpoint that childhood trauma, work on it consciously, release the negative emotional attachment to it subconsciously, and now this person is in control of their life. They can hold a schedule and maintain it. And this is why we love doing what we do. We change people's lives for the better, and we enjoy it. And so, I guess, Spencer, I'll let you share a little bit about, your experience growing up, and, what kind of transformation you've had. And then I'll share a little bit of mine, and we'll call it a day.
Absolutely, and thank you for that. Because there's been a lot of stuff, and I know I look a certain way. So this is the first time you've seen me. You see me a certain way. This is not like I was before. Back when I was younger, my parents were going through a divorce. I was putting on all kinds of weight throughout my whole childhood. I was a pretty pudgy kid. I would say in grade 10, I was about, I don't know, 265, 270 pounds. I was a pretty overweight, hefty child, or young adult, whatever you want to call them. But growing up, I was always kind of bullied for being fat, bullied for having, no confidence, like not standing up for myself, just people kind of pushing me around, bullying me around in that regard, but mostly because I was larger, and but the thing is you don't know what's going on in the background. So there was fat shaming, there was, different divorce going on. There was even some stuff that was kind of going on with my dad, and whether or not, like, I'm sure that he was doing the best he could at the time. There were certain things with the divorce, with all the stuff going on and custody battles and all this stuff. There's moments where I even felt like I wasn't even wanted, right? So there's a lot of examples out there with that. So combining the bullying with the parents' realities, with another kid or my best friend growing up, there was a 3-year difference there. There was lots of stuff that I was learning, which I probably shouldn't have learned, all kinds of kind of not so awesome stuff there as well. And I could go further and further, but that's just a little bit about some of the stuff that I've gone through. And, I used to have a really hard time just even talking with people. Having a conversation was impossible. Like, no way, unless you were like a super close friend or something. But going on video in front of a bunch of people, no freaking way. Like, there's no way I would want to show my face. Impossible. But this is really just a testament to how this work can really change and impact your life. Because there's a lot of people out there, and if you're watching this, you know who I am, and you know the way I used to be. This is nothing like the way I used to be. So if you are ever wondering if you can change, you certainly can. But what about you, Valley? What kind of stuff have you gone through?
Yeah, so I guess one of the biggest challenges I faced was bullying / racism. I was always, ridiculed or made fun of, or, tried to have someone tried to knock my turban off, various times throughout my life, even as much as made fun of playing ice hockey, when I played at an adult age. But these things, we tend to ignore them and just say, whatever. But ultimately, they start to shape who we are, because the word is powerful. And what happened was that I truly believed that everyone else in this world was better than me. And not that I want to be better than anyone, but I always thought of myself as not as good as everyone else because of the way I was treated. And I wasn't in my full power. And to be in my full power now and know the difference, it's absolutely dramatically changed my life. It's changed my relationship with my family, with my wife, my kids. It's changed the way I do work in the clinic. It's changed the way I coach my clients. It's been a huge change. So, are we perfect? You and I, or Spencer and I, are we perfect people? Absolutely not. We're always growing. And this is why we read books and we get coached from other coaches and we get healed ourselves, because we want to continue to grow ourselves, yet help you grow yourself and get yourself out of this trauma that you were put up, growing up. So there's a lot of work that we all can do. What we've narrowed down to is something that holds people really holds people back from their mission, their true calling, from their self-confidence, their belief being in control of their relationships in their life is the trauma of rejection that they faced growing up. So if that's something that you faced and you need help with, then reach out to us. We'd love to help you. Spencer and I can do a complimentary introductory session with you, just to give you an idea of what the process looks like, how we work with you, what we do for you, and what your life could potentially look like after you've gone through this with us. And we've made it. We've introduced something absolutely awesome, and it's totally new. But what we've done is we've created a membership. Some of you may have looked into our programs in the past, and some of you thought, well, I can't afford a couple of thousand or a few thousand right now, or I can't commit to 6 months of my life, and that's okay. We get that. So what we've created is a monthly membership where, for a monthly fee, you get coaching and healing. You get to be part of a very tight-knit family with all of our other clients, and just over about 100 clients, and it's absolutely incredible. So you get a ton of coaching, you get a ton of healing for a small monthly fee. There's no long-term commitment, and it really, really works. So if you want to know more about that, connect with us. If you want to visit our site to learn more about that, it's ioimember.com. Again, that's www.ioimember.com. Aside from that, you'll start seeing more of us now that we're totally dialed in. We know where we want to help people and change their lives. And you're going to hear a lot more from us. We'll talk about some amazing things and give you some pointers and help you out in your life with the things that you're doing right now. There's the website. Spencer, anything you'd like to add?
No, not at all. I'm just, I guess the only thing that maybe there is one thing. The only thing I want to say is I'm super excited about this. This is something that gets me really, really fired up, because I see a lot of people that are going through their life struggling because of this whole rejection trauma thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it obviously stems into different areas and all that kind of stuff, but speaking from experience, living a life full of rejection in pretty much every area you can look at,
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy to be doing this kind of work, because I know how liberating it can be to release it and how restricting it can be to have it. I'm right there with you, and I know exactly both sides of that coin. So I just wanted to say I'm extremely excited to be able to work with people and help them solve this challenge, or get even closer to helping them achieve their dreams through this avenue. And I'm more excited than ever to be able to do that. So that's the only thing I wanted to say. Is there anything else you'd like to cover?
No, you know what? That's it. We're going to share stories with you as we continue on. Things that have gone on in our lives, the things that we faced, the rejection that we faced. You may relate to some of those. They may help you. But at the end of the day, we just want to grow with you. And we look forward to doing that. So thank you very much, everyone. And we'll see you again later this week. Take care.
Take care.